Happy Easter, everybody, and happy April Fool's Day. Here's the story, and all week I've been thinking about how I was gonna talk about this because my wife is the only other person that I've told this to. But what I'm fixing to tell you had started as early as I can remember. My earliest memory was when I was 4 years old, JFK getting shot in Dallas. And the only reason I have that memory is because both my parents were crying. And as a 4 year old, that's a pretty traumatic thing to see your parents cry. Anyway, that is my earliest memory. My next earliest memory is from about the age of 6 years old. Maybe it was 5. I had these dreams of me being on a ship. And it wasn't a steam or propelled ship in any other way. It was a sailing ship. As I grew older, I had more and more dreams about being on a ship, and I would remember more about me being on this ship. And there were a few dreams that were so real in my mind that when I told my mother about them, she would try to tell me it was just a dream, and it would just absolutely infuriate me as a child because it was as real as me sitting here right now. And as I got older, I had more and more dreams. Some of them were scary dreams of bad weather and battles and fights and explosions. And I had the dreams. Oh, my dog is wanting in. She's gonna sit there and bark until I let her in. Well, I'm not ready to let her in, so we'll just have to endure her barking. In my teens, I continued to have these dreams, and their frequency varied. You know, sometimes I'd have 2 or 3 dreams a night about being on this ship. And in these dreams, sometimes I could see myself in the dream. And sometimes I was looking through my own eyes. I guess that would be called first person and third person. Well, in my dreams, I would notice that if I was looking at myself in this dream, I would have clothing on that differed from other people. My jacket and hat seemed to be a little fancier than other people's. And as I grew older, I began to think that maybe I was an officer on this ship. And where I would view through my own eyes, it would always be looking down on people on the ship from a higher position, like another deck. And all through my Army career, 3 years. I mean, I hate to say career, but my 3 year bit in the Army, I would have these dreams. And I was telling you about the frequency. You know, sometimes it would be 2 or 3 times a week, and sometimes it would be a month I'd have just one dream. But as I grew older, I tried really, really hard to remember as much as I could about what things looked like. And my goal was to just see the name of the ship. If I could see the name of the ship, maybe I could, this was before the days of computers, maybe I could get an encyclopedia and see if even the ship existed. But I was never able to see the name of the ship. And as I grew older, the dreams grew a little more scarier as far as what was happening to me in the dream. And one time I finally had a dream where I saw, by this time I had told my wife about these dreams and how I'd had them all my life. And some of them were so real that it was just, I had a hard time calling it a dream because it was that real. Describing it as a dream was just wrong because to me it was just as real as my life I have now. These dreams went on until I was 50 years old, and the reason they stopped was I finally saw the name of the ship, and I told my wife, and I looked it up, and sure enough, a ship of that name actually existed in the 1700s, and it was a very, I'll tell you the name, it was La Gagla, Gagla, La Gagla, Lagagla. And the boat had a very long history with thousands of people serving on it, and sometimes it was used as a merchant vessel, and sometimes it had been called into battle, and I never was able to pin a date down in my mind or in my dreams what era that the person in my dreams served on that ship. But there you have it. I can hear that unsubscribe button clicking. So I'm 58 now. Actually, in this month I'll be 58 in a few more days, and I've not had that dream since the age of 50 when I saw the name of the boat. And that's kind of weird too. The dreams just immediately stopped after having those dreams my entire life. Alrighty, happy Easter, y'all. Thanks for listening. If you're not subscribing, thanks again. I mean, if you're not unsubscribing, thank you. And if you are unsubscribing, I understand.